we could talk about. Let's talk about the good.
That's that's where I was like, because there were good aspects of it.
Yes. Well, we can also criticize it, but I'm
saying.
Oh,
I'm going to. No, I'm going to. But
one of the best things, which I still think people are blowing it a little bit out of proportion because whatever, but they did update the Intercontinental Championship and added in the blue on like the globes or whatever, similar to the original, the old design that people really loved. And people are obsessed with it, which, it does. It looks very nice. My only reason that I was kind of like, people need to calm down is like the design is no different. The design before was awesome too. It's like everything is still great about it. You just added some
blue on it.
Yeah, but people they're like, this title is so clean. I'm like, it's the same title with some more blue. Like, why are we acting like they just unveiled a brand new championship? That's the part where I was very confused.
It doesn't say yeet across it. It just has blue in it.
Yeah, and I would assume it has nothing to do with him being the champion, but I don't think that people were looking at it on Gunther's shoulder being like, oh, it would really make this better if they put it with blue. Like, no, it looked awesome before. So I think that is definitely one of the biggest takeaways from him opening.
Yeah, it was awesome. And the intro where he came out of the crowd, the entrance itself was awesome. With his son, like, it was well deserved. And that aspect of the celebration was awesome. It felt like a celebration. Mm-hmm. The only quarrel or mini issue that I had with it was that if he couldn't get the words out, kind of like similar there. Like, it felt that he had something planned that he wanted to say and, get across and tie in what happened at the end of the segment to what was eventually going to happen. But I have a feeling that he got lost in the crowd cheering for him and you deserve it and all that. And all the talk online, because obviously he sees it, about how he's just a tag team wrestler. We can say it's like, no, you're not, Jey. You're more than that. But no, you're going to have that because you're in a tag team for 95% of your career.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm glad we kept weird in a banner because that's just a good way to describe it. It wasn't bad. It just was, you knew it was emotional. You were happy for him. And that's one moment, but then it has to move on. You know what I mean? It has to move on and progress into something. And it just felt very patchy.
I think, so I was initially asking, like, should we use weird or should we use pointless? And the reason why I brought up pointless is not because he didn't deserve to celebrate, because they didn't really get to after he won on Raw at the celebration.
Yeah, because it got cut short.
And USA. So I'm not taking anything away from that. Like, I'm not saying that was pointless. It just felt like he didn't say anything that we haven't already heard. You know what I mean? Since he's been going for singles titles. So that was why it just felt to me like, okay, we didn't learn anything new. He didn't say anything different than what he's been saying. And then the Braun Breaker thing, that was a little confusing because I kind of felt like, okay, cool. Like, they're having Braun come out here and congratulate him, which I'm sure part of that is because, as you said, what the internet was saying, me included, feeling like it just wasn't the right time for Jey to win. I'm sure this was kind of their way of addressing that by having him congratulate him and being like kind of giving him, not that he needs it, but the Braun Breaker rub kind of. And it felt like maybe it was setting something up for them to continue, but then it also made it seem like, is Braun Breaker going to be a babyface now? Like, what are we doing? Like, this whole thing was so confusing, and that's why I was saying the whole thing was weird. It just and the reason I say, like I said, like the reason I said pointless was just because I feel like we didn't get anything out of this, because like the people who are not a fan of Jey Uso in general, or not a fan of him being Intercontinental Champion, this didn't change their mind. Braun Breaker coming out and doing that doesn't change their mind. The people who are excited that he's champion and love Jey Uso still do. Like, this segment didn't do anything to further us forward for anything. So that was why it was like I toyed with the word pointless. That was the only in the most respectful way possible.
We stand Jey Uso on the show, obviously.
Well,
That's not where I'm
half.
that's not what I'm getting at.